Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining us all again. Sound very posh.
Friends, countrymen, Romans.
Do you know what I've noticed today? And I did it last night. I seem to be wearing the same type of...
Same underwear.
You can get 4 days out of it. That's another thing. Clothes. And I looked last night and I ordered a jumper. And it was only today that I noticed that I ordered a jumper that is a quarter zip up as well.
Oh, no. I've got loads of these. I don't know why they're just easy.
In my
I need some more like those.
In my standard grey or navy. Done.
Yeah, mine's Jerry new. This is actually a little bit off piste for me. This is. Yeah.
You're wearing your what? You're wearing your hoop band as well.
I've got a whoop. Yeah. For the athlete that I am. Yeah. We'll cover that in another podcast actually, because he's going on the way. We'll tell you a bit about how that works and the reason why we're doing it.
Follow the.
We're going to touch on the book though. We better had 8th of February.
8th of February.
Book launches. Quite exciting now, and it's not far off. There'll be a link in the notes for this.
And don't
worry,
if
register
you
and
do
where you can
forget.
Well,
don't you worry.
We
We shall spam you
can
enough
know
to
about it for the
inform
next
you.
2 weeks.
I think the plan is the few people that have read through it so far have been pleasantly surprised at how good it is, considering
The
it's
fact
from
we
us.
can write a book.
Yeah.
I'd be quite surprised. We did some readings earlier from it, some chapters to put out on social media and out on podcasts the next couple of weeks. And
CBBS,
I was actually quite surprised.
if you need anyone CBBS to do your bedtime stories, as we've had over the years, probably neither one of us that you need.
It'll be.
Although I think the monotone voice that I had, I probably could put the kids to sleep reading from a.
100%. 100%. I wish my reading would put my daughter to sleep at the moment.
But 8th of February, we're going to have if people are in Cardiff, there is a register page. More than welcome to come into the office here. We're going to have some nibbles, just a bit of a launch party. We're going to try in some way to try and get to an Amazon #1 star. It's just one of those things that people try and achieve, and let's push ourselves to get a bestseller. Yeah, it is more of a vanity thing, but it would be nice to try and hit that. But we will spam you like there's no tomorrow between now and the 8th of February, so apologies in advance. But if you buy one, then you can just tell us to stop spamming.
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit. What I guess this book is a little bit about this as well, about the kind of lack of money education in the world, in the UK, and the stuff you're not really taught at schools. Talking of that, did we talk about the Rishi Sunak thing with learning maths till you're 18?
I think we did it a week or two ago.
Did we?
Do you know when you play a game when you're on the boring motorways and you go, let's spot, seek and anyone find a yellow car or something like that, and when you start playing that game, there's never a yellow car. When you go, I've just bought, I'm interested in a Ford Focus, a blue Ford Focus, you see them everywhere. Since we started talking about money and education, the amount of stuff that I'm reading about how people are so uneducated about the aspects of money and the common sense stuff that they are not doing, or the opposite to what they should be doing, is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, but it's all down to the lack of education, isn't it? And the fact that the portrayal on social media of lifestyle, of spending as much money as you can, having a flash car, having a flash watch, having a flash this, flash that, fast food, fast fashion, having the newest thing now. That's the biggest problem, and I do fear for the youth of today, and actually adults of today, because the big keeping up with the Joneses is a huge thing.
Social media is a great tool, especially for the likes of us to educate people, but can also be seen as a negative, as you said. I think so many people will show that they've got a new Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, Ford, but also a new watch, a new phone. And it's all happiness.
Yeah, most people stand in front of Lamborghinis, so it's not their Lamborghini, it's usually someone
else. But they're
else.
promoting an element of, I'm so happy that I've got this, whatever it may be. Whereas the truth is, a lot of them are masking what they
I think
unhappiness.
99% of social media is rubbish, isn't it? It's not
we
the
need
real
to
true picture, is it?
I suppose through the through the book, which will lead on to the education side of what we're doing, is there needs to be an understanding of the money and the happiness, because I suppose we're going back to the time in March 2020 with that word that begins with C. When all of those things got taken away from us, i.e. the ability to do, let's say, sporting activities or visit families and friends or whatever it may be, it should have made us realise that having a new watch or a new car is not things that will make you happy. It's doing what you like to do with the people that you like to do it is the most important thing. But in the blink of an eye,
yeah, well, that was our biggest fear,
again.
wasn't it? That we go straight back to normality, and we've all been guilty of that.
Yeah.
You know, all this kind of taking all these walks locally. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people have still kept that up, but people have gone back to normal. I'd be inclined to say, actually, people have kind of thought, I didn't spend any money in COVID.
That's exactly.
Oh, I used the C word. That won't help. I haven't spent any money, so I'm actually going to spend double or triple what I did now because I can.
It leads on. I put something out. Chris helped us the other day. I put something out in October saying, don't overspend in December, because when the pinch kicks in January, you're all going to feel it, and it's going to be difficult and hard. And the papers last week and BBC News and all that, charity saying people are suffering now. You know, they're unable to afford their credit card bills that have mounted up since Christmas. Common sense guys would have told you, you have to pay back something at some stage, unless you're the government who can basically get away with it. You're having to pay it back. It's lack of education.
100%.
Yeah, Sunday Times on the week just gone. Two things. One guy, which I don't know if he's fully immersed in understanding money, Ali Hussein, put why pay a financial advisor 1%? He comes out per year and he will look to review your portfolio. Ali, that's not what we do. Look back to a previous LinkedIn thing that I'd done about what we actually do. And then this lady had something on as well, on a story on the money section, in which she said she's stopping her contributions into her investment. And the headline was, my savings have gone down 80%. Now, yes, her pot had gone down 80%.
What was she investing?
It's not savings. She was investing in crypto. It's gone down 80%. So she had six figures.
That's why then.
She said, I dabbled during the C word. I started saving, it's called investing, on a regular, or that's speculating, on a regular basis.
Gambling.
I had six figures, now it's down 80%. And because it's so low, I'm going to stop contributing in. I can't remember your name, and I'll put it on a LinkedIn thing. It's the only time people do not go out and buy on a sale is when things go down in value. We all remember the Next sales from years ago, where on Christmas Day night, Boxing Day, people would queue up to buy a shirt that they were never going to wear.
It's silly o'clock in the morning. Yeah. People would be out from like 3 in the morning when they queuing.
I've just seen a house has come up for sale around the corner. It's very cheap compared to normal. I'm going to live in it long term. Oh, do you know what? There's a sale on for tins of beans at the moment. I know I'm going to use them in the future. I'm going to buy them now. Or the value of investments has fallen. Oh, I'm not going to buy them anymore because they've gone down in value. Behaviours, attitudes, understanding, education. It is totally incorrect. Hence, Le Book and the course will in some way start to re-educate people into the correct way of doing things. Because to be honest, please take this the best way possible, the vast majority of you haven't got a bloody clue when it comes to money.
Where's that? But where is that? Where does the fault lie?
It lies in the educational system from about 5 to 6 years of age onwards.
People say it should really fall on the parents, but I don't think it should, because a lot of parents actually were never taught it either.
You can't teach somebody something you don't understand yourself.
No, you can't. So you're only going to teach the traits that you know to your child, and if those traits are the wrong ones, you're going to get the wrong ones. So I do think it falls in the education system. I know there's obviously there's talk about maths till 18, but learning trigonometry and algebra, I'm going to go out there on a limb, and I think I've said this before, it's probably only 1% of people are actually really going to use that in their jobs. I've never used it. Basic maths I might use at a push, but I'm not poo-pooing the education system of maths. It has a place, but I don't think learning certain parts of maths at a certain age is really going to help you. But then there is talk of one of the governing bodies that I think you sit under, isn't it, the LIBF?
I'm the other one, CISI, but I was.
Oh, you were LIBF, weren't you? Is going to come in and do the educational side in schools, and they've already written the curriculum in a book, I believe. Little bit worrying because the LIBF, and I'm going to go there out on a limb now and say this, are very old-fashioned when it comes to financial services.
I'm not sure about that, but I think they're more academic. So the unfortunate thing is, because I'm not a teacher nor am I in a school, they won't allow me to view the book, which would have been nice to get an understanding of.
But it needs to be real world examples. I don't think that's what it's going to be. This is going to come from the pure educational side. It's going to be very kind of high level, profit, loss and all that type of stuff. But actually, I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's understanding the real world usage of money and debt, good debt, bad debt, what your pay slip's going to look like, what national insurance is going to be, what you pay national insurance for, what that gets you. Not a huge amount. What running a business is like, what getting a mortgage is like. I can't imagine it's going to cover. I'd be interested to see what it does cover, but I don't think it's going to come from real life examples, which is what our course is about and what our book is about.
I think the unfortunate thing is when you put
and
something...
is it going to be set at the right age levels as well?
When you put something into an educational system, I think there may be a tendency to construct it in a manner that allows for testing and having right answers on, 2 + 2 is 4. Well, sometimes it's not, it's 5 because of compound interest. Or, I know that's a silly example, but I think it's a very subjective matter that the understanding and learning of money and relationships and habits and behaviours potentially isn't something that can get tested, I don't think, because it's a learned example. By that I mean, if you teach people, teach is probably the wrong word, if you make people aware of what makes them happy, then they may spend more money on what makes them happy. For example, if an adult likes playing football, rugby, sorry, I'll say it because you're sick of my football analogies, rugby, and they spend 100 odd quid on a pair of rugby boots, fine. If that makes them happy and healthy and financially, mentally they're well, physically they're well, and financially they should be okay. That might stop them spending a lot more money on plastic from Amazon that they're trying to find this element of happiness. So sometimes it's not the amount of spending or stop your spending because people don't spend. It's almost the alignment of the spending in the correct way. And I don't think you can teach that in a format that's school related. I think
because it's behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we come back to 80% of financial planning is actually the behavioural side and the goals, the needs, the wants, and the habits, and creating all those things. Or actually, 20% is the actual technical side of it. And I think it's the same with the money management thing. There's a large percentage that's going to be about mindset, behaviour, and actually understanding why you might be predisposed to go in that direction with wanting to buy, or why you look. Because a lot of people are buying to try and make them happy, solve what they think is the problem, but actually somebody's got to go a bit deeper than that. I know we're kind of getting the emotional side, but that is where a lot of it's got to go. It's not just teaching them A, B, C, and D with this is what when you run a company, profit, loss, and all that stuff, which is what I think a lot of it's going to be. But I might be wrong. But I think from a behavioural point of view, the LIBF, like I've read stuff, the LIBF, they don't talk about behavioural finance or anything like that. So if that's the angle they're coming at, but there's not many institutions that talk from that side anyway about behaviour and about emotion and about that side of it and good debt, bad debt and all that. So it'd be interesting to see. So I'm not, until I kind of see it, but I think something's got to be done, but I hope it's the right thing. And I guess it's a start, even though if it's not quite the right thing, it's going to be a start in educating people the right way.
A big thing that hit home with me probably early last year, we've been doing this collectively for many, many years now. And I sat down with one guy last year, and this is where I realized that people need to be educated at a very, very basic level with all of this. It came back to the guy went, and I knew him for years. I haven't got enough money in my pension pot to retire. And he had set an amount, a monetary amount to hit, and then he could finish. And it was only by the kind of sitting down and talking about what's he going to spend it on, how much does he need on a monthly basis, where it's going to come from, what happiness is it going to bring him, and making him realise then at another level that that money has to continue to grow and work even when he's drawn. And he went, oh, so I don't need to wait for it to hit a certain number to go.
No.
And I went, well, of course not. And I took, for the years I knew, that he understood that concept of you draw upon it and it has to work even harder. And his mindset has totally shifted now. And we've had communication over the last 6-12 months, and we're chatting. And he's messaged me and said, I've told other people about this. Because he said, I have been educating them on they need to build up a bigger pot as possible. And this is an intelligent man. And I had a light bulb moment going, people don't understand the very basics of money and behaviours and understanding. And we have to bring them back and start from a very low foundation phase to build up. And that will be child, adults, people that are earning 6 figures a year, every single person. You have to scale it all back and start fresh and create new habits, understanding, behaviours. Because what's that thing of, practice makes perfect? Well, it doesn't say, well, if you're not practicing in the correct way, it's never going to be perfect, because it's only perfect practice makes perfect, and that's the wrong way I'm saying. I can't remember which way you do it, but if you're not doing that drill as a sporting person correctly all the time, when it comes to that moment in time where you take a penalty, I suppose it's the time you go, Chris, hit back to Harry Kane, take the penalty, you're not going to get it right.
No, it's not. And that comes back, again, it all comes back down to education, because we're institutionally told that retirement is 65 when you take your pension out in work or whatever it might be. So everyone talks about 65. And actually there's a huge fault. A lot of pensions that you have in work will be lifestyle. Okay, I'm not going into the depths of lifestyle. But in essence, what it does is the closer you get to retirement, the less risky, technically, the funds get. So therefore your growth and performance reduces as well. But that's because they assume that at 65 you're just going to stop and take all your money. But it shouldn't be. Actually, you should be trying to punch right through your 65th birthday and actually make this money last as long as possible and stay invested as long as you can, because you need ongoing growth. People say, oh yeah, I'm only saving till I'm 65. You're not. If you're putting in your pension now at 30, you got to try and make that last at least you're 90, maybe 100. So you're pushing 70 years. 60, 70 years of actually invested. But we don't look at it like that, because we're institutionally told that it's 65 or 60 or 67, 68 is when we're retiring. But that money's going to last you past then. And this is where all goes wrong. This comes back to education. And this is why we use a lot of cash flow forecasting in what we do, to actually take people past that date and show them that they can survive. And I've lost count of the amount of clients we've retired a lot earlier than they've ever planned to, because they actually, until they sat down, looked at the numbers, looked at what they had, they didn't really realise they could retire early. And some of my clients retired like 10 years earlier than they ever even imagined. And they're now living the life they've always wanted. They get to see their grandkids grow up. They get to do the holidays they want. But they actually thought with the money they had, they couldn't do this. But until we put it into a little bit of software that we use and showed them actually, you can survive, and if we invested and we get a bit of growth, we even look from a point of view, actually don't get any growth, how does that look? But we try and make their money as long as possible so they can continue to do what they want to do. But I say it all comes back to education. We're educated the wrong way. Everything we read out there talks about retire this, they retire at that age. Actually, it's not retirement, it's just a change in lifestyle. That's all it really is. It's actually you're going to You're not going to be going out of that door and go working like you used to do 40 hours a week. You might only go out and work 10 hours a week just to keep the great habit going. But it's just a change in lifestyle. That's all it really is. You're not stopping on that day and then your money basically being drawn out and you're just using that. It's going to last you a long time.
It's funny when you mention education. I think I know a few people that have technically retired, and like you said, they're looking after grandchildren now, and they're exhausted, and they've come back and said, if I knew then what I know now, work was easier than child minding on a regular basis for little ones, because I'm exhausted all the time, and they never run out of energy.
No, they don't.
But, joking aside, the concept of retirement, I don't enjoy the word, because it's just, as you say, it's a change of circumstances to dictate how much you want to work, or segmenting your life into a lifestyle and work basis, and it's basically just changing the pie, I suppose. And there's a greater chunk of the pie that will be on a lifestyle, and a smaller chunk on the working life. And we all know that those that have been doing a job for quite a long time and many years are usually experts in the field, and the employer or the clients usually don't want you to go fully, because you are the font of knowledge for the new people coming up. So almost working on a consultancy basis on a lower time frame and a higher charge per hour allows people the flexibility of still, as you say, keeping themselves going, having something to do on a Tuesday or Wednesday, but at the same time having more time to themselves to do what they want with grandchildren, golf, whatever it may be, and enjoying latter years of their life.
But that's only going to happen if you do continue to save. If you stop saving, or you're not saving into some sort of investment for the future, whether that be a pension, ISA, lifetime ISA, whatever it may be, if you're not doing those things, you're not going to be able to live on what the state give you. I can guarantee you that.
It's a help to state of 9 odd grand a year.
But it should be a bonus. It should technically be a bonus when you hit 68 years of age, 67, 68, or probably 70 by the time we get there. It should really be a bonus. What it should not be is just the money you rely on to retire. I think you need to be planning ahead, and by not saving, you're going to have some real problems.
You excuse me. You could use that a bonus. Is the wasabi ladies? It's not wasabi. That's the thing. Who basically wanted to retire at a certain age, and they changed the state pension overnight for them, and they basically said they had to work extra years, but that's another podcast discussion, and are going through the courts at the moment to get them their money, state pension, backdated.
Really?
Yeah,
there's a lot of there's a lot of.
But it comes back to the earlier point of education. The concept of saving and investing for the future you starts at a young age. You invest in yourself, in your education, and that starts at about 10 years of age and goes on to university, and that sets you up for life. The same thing should be probably done for setting yourself up financially for the rest of your life. And we had a podcast guest on before who was talking about her children and buying properties at a young age and being set for life. Money, and that's what's needing to be done. But that can only be done through a full understanding of money, happiness, behaviours and attitudes, and a re-education of all of that, which is going to be a hard thing to do. And I think we need to push more towards getting into schools, the likes of us, I suppose, and educating kids.
Yeah, proper money coaches, not you need to have some real understanding of real life, money management, finances. I don't think these are things you can be just taught from a book by someone who just picks the book up. You need to have some understanding, because if you are being taught by a teacher in a school who actually struggles within money management, it's difficult. You've got to have real life examples of it as well. But anyway, we've kind of got to that. Just buy our book. As you almost dropped it. That's the key though. This is the important thing at the moment. You're going to buy this when it's out on the 8th.
It's going to drop on the 8th.
Drop, yeah.